Well, hello and welcome to this episode of the Monday Minute. My name is Ken Freeman and I have both good news and, well, some not so good news to share with you today about your ministry success during an economic challenge. Wars and rumors of wars, earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, economic concerns, poor business, skyrocketing fuel costs, mortgage failures. When you think about it, if we only listen to the bad news of this day, it looks bad, it feels bad, doesn't it? As the story goes, the national media seems to have always focused on the demise of the economy, no matter how large the NASDAQ, how successful the country, or how wealthy its citizens. But here's the rest of the story. America has lived and thrived as a nation for 200 years. During those 200 years, we have lived, survived, built, thrived, and prospered through far worse than we are going through today. Just a couple of examples. In 1780, George Washington was heard to say, "We are without money," and have been so for a great length of time, yet he was able to go ahead and create an estate worth $750,000 when he died. In 1840, a traveler wrote, "Oh, so great is the panic, so dreadful the distress, that there are a great many farms prepared to receive crops, and some of them actually planted, and yet deserted. Not a human being is found upon them." But the other side of the story is, we got over that problem. In 1857, an editorial stated, "It's a gloomy moment in history. Not for many years, not in the lifetime of most men who read this newspaper, has there been so much grave and deep apprehension." But guess what? That problem passed too. In 1873, this continent had a panic that shook it to its core. The newspaper reported that all the manufacturers were closing their works and discharging their operatives simply because they can't sell the goods they make nor borrow the money to carry them until the demand for them revives. Yet this panic passed as well. In 1893, one man wrote of the troubling times he saw, "I have been through all the panics of the last 30 years, but I have never seen one in which the distress was so widespread and so reached the many people who had not previously been affected as of this panic of 1893. But as time went on, we got through that one. And we certainly can't forget the Great Depression of 1929 or those eras when we had two great world wars, Korea, Vietnam, and many, most recently, Iraq, Afghanistan, and the Y2 panic and the 9/11 event. What appears to be gloom and doom is often just the focus of the media. Too often, we listen to the media, read the evening news, and think there's nothing but bad news. Thus, we think the sky is falling. But there is another side to the story. Consider what Gandhi once said, "When I despair, I remember that all through history the ways of truth and love have always won. There have been tyrants and murderers, and for the time they seem invincible, but in the end they always fall." Think of it, always. I could go on and on and on. But the point of it is this. In life, we will always have ups and downs. Life is like a game of Monopoly. Someone always wins while someone else loses. The secret is to go with the flow as best we can, stay in the game for as long as we can. Complaining about what keeps you from spotting or even creating new opportunities will never get you there or even get you out of the pit you might find yourself in time and time again. In every panic, in every generation, men and women with their eyes wide open have seen and seized new opportunities to survive. Whether it was George Washington, who went on to be the first U.S. president and build his own fortune, or P.T. Barnum, who during the Civil War went on to prosper with the largest circus traveling around the country. Circumstances don't make you. You make the best of your circumstance. Now, I've said that I was going to give you a complete report, both some good news and some bad news. Well, the bad news is this. Nearly half of the Christian adults in America have reduced their charitable giving because of the current economic downturn, according to the Wilson Research Strategy survey commissioned by Durham and Company. And this is where I will end today's broadcast. To get to the rest of the story, you will need to type in your name and working email address in the form below. Why? Because the printed resource for today's webcast tells the whole story. Let me just say, you don't want to miss this full report that includes a survey of the Durham and Company's report. So take a moment, type in your name and working email, tell a friend about the Monday Minute, won't you? And share this with another director. Until we meet again real soon, keep up the good work you're doing. The other side just can't stand it. Thanks for listening.